Hello there, gents. In this video, I'll show you how to use Lovable, how to vibe code, what is vibe coding, how to think about vibe coding, and what are the most common ways of how you can make your own website, app, etc. For today, we're going to be using Lovable. Lovable is probably the best vibe coding tool right now that you can use. I definitely recommend it. I've built a ton of apps with it already, and I think it's really good for anyone that's starting in this vibe coding era and they want to get more into it. First of all, what is vibe coding, right? So vibe coding is an easy way for you to build software, apps, websites, just by talking to AI, right? So instead of asking AI to write code for you, you basically let AI do everything for you, right? So you don't copy paste stuff, you just let it go and it builds in the background for you. We're going to start off with a Mr. GPT. I've got a basic prompt here. We're going to be building a personal dashboard, a tracker for your goals, for your habit. We're going to try to make it AI powered as well. I've made this prompt, and what I always try to do, why I use ChatGPT first, is that I give it questions. Hey, question me what I'm not thinking about, right? Because like oftentimes we have an idea in our head, but we don't fully think it through, and we need a prompt that's going to basically enhance it, right? So I give it some questions, like or tell it to give me questions. Hey, give me 5 questions, and then it's going to ask me, hey, how do you think the dashboard is going to understand context and change over time? What input signals do you have, and so on? How should the modules talk to each other? And then I respond to each of the questions, and then I get a master prompt, right? So with this prompt, I'll basically just copy it and go to Lovable. So let me just copy this really quick. I'll go to Lovable and do a new project, right? And now what's really good about Lovable is that you can also import stuff from Figma. For example, if you already have a design done, you can import that, and you can also attach images. So what I love to do is go to Pinterest, and then I search for various elements that I want implemented, right? So for example, let's look for UI dashboard design and see some stuff that we like. For example, this looks really cool. Let me copy paste it there. Let's have a look at another one. For example, this black and white looks good. Let's paste that here. Okay, this is also pretty cool. Okay, so we can do that and just let it roll, right? So now Lovable is going to start. It's going to start thinking about the project, how it's going to build out, and this is the UI of it, right? So it's thinking, it's cooking in the background, and what we can do, there's a button over here where we can go to code mode, and we can see all the files that Lovable is working on, the Lovable is doing, and you can basically work with it. You can edit it here straight away if you understand code. What you can also do with Lovable is you can have your knowledge imported as well, right? So for example, if you're a company and you have a certain guideline for, code or design, you can implement it right here. You can say, hey, these are our brand colors. This is our way of how we write code, how we comment about code, and so on. So that's something that you can do. You can put it here, and it's going to be based off of that, right? And then in project settings, you can add certain other features based off of if you have it paid or not paid, and so on. You can also connect your own domain, right? So what's really good about Lovable is that you can have it as a production ready tool. For example, like if you're doing your own website or personal website, you can just plug it into your domain that you've already bought somewhere else, and it can be hosted there. So that's super duper cool. And then you can implement Supabase, which is a way of handling databases. So basically, for example, if you're ever going to work with logins, like user logins, user accounts, you'll probably need Supabase to handle that. Or if you want to enable the users to upload images and so on, it's good to do it through that. So it's going to be cooking in the background. We're going to wait a little bit. So we have a visual here. We've got our first view of the dashboard, and this looks pretty cool. Oh, okay, it works. This works as well. That's amazing. Okay, we have recent activity, and what's really cool is that it gives you a preview. and you can test stuff. And let's see. Okay, I see it, dog. Really working well. We've got a settings tab that doesn't work, a user tab that doesn't work. Okay, and now it's going to ask you for what's next, right? We're going to connect Supabase. That's going to enable us to save the tasks, the habits, etc. I'll just add this that I've already made. So it's going to connect to that and use that for databases. Let's see what it's going to do. Okay, it's now connected to Supabase. And now what we can do is that we can use this edit button right here. We can press on certain elements and tell it to, for example, like, oh, restyle it, add this. So let me just jump out of it because I don't need any changes right now. But what I think we could do is let's select quick stat thingy and this to top, so it's the first thing I see. Okay, so I just told it to go to the top, so I see it straight away, right? Okay, now I see it like this. This works well. What I don't like about our UI right now is that it's very tailored towards mobile. I think we should tell it to make it look like more decked out, dashboard. I'll add this as reference. Okay, so I've added an image for reference. It's going to use that, and I told it to redesign it to be more tailored towards PC, and we're going to see what it's going to do with that. So it's going to start redesigning stuff, and we can also tell it to implement more features, add more stuff, subtract more stuff, and you can even just click on stuff and just rename it, right? So you can just write stuff and change the content, but right now it's building, so we're not going to be able to make any changes. Okay, so now we've got a more desktop-y layout. I'll want to change this to be a sidebar. Let's take this, change the menu to be a sidebar. And what you can do is you can also publish, and you can see the website here straight away. So we see that it's based on modules as we told it. So we've got our medium, long-term, short-term goals and objectives, our task manager right here, our AI assistant, and so on, right? This is basically how Lovable works. You're just going to give it more prompts and continue editing it. You can always connect it, with like Figma and import your designs if you have some. Then over here, you can connect it to GitHub, right? So for example, if you want to do more stuff with code, for example, you want to edit it, an IDE like Cursor or Windsurf or anything like that, you can do that and then edit the code, or you can always go to here and edit the code straight away if you're up to that jam. So we're going to see how this is going to pan out. And over here, you can always see how many credits you have. I'm currently running on like the middle package that gives me like 200 credits a month. I use it quite heavily for prototyping various ideas that I have for web apps, personal apps. And right now, what it's really good, for is that you don't have to be paying like various apps on your phone, like a $3, $4 app. You can just vibe code it yourself and have it and implement any features you want at any time. So that's awesome. Okay, so you see that now it's a sidebar. That looks really good. I love that. And you can also, if you have like subpage and stuff like that, you can click here and see it in different resolutions, right? You can see it in the desktop version, you can see it in the mobile version. Then you can always like publish it and see how it looks like. So this is our personal dashboard that we just vibe coded. You can continue working on it, right? We've got the switch over here. It looks pretty good for something that we've made in a couple of minutes. And yeah, it's a very fun process overall. I really recommend anybody to start vibe coding, trying to get a hold of how to use these AI features to do some amazing, cool stuff. And as you see, as it's editing, you can always go into subpages based on how it's, continuing the editing. So you're going to see progressive updates. And the thing is that this is just the start, right? This is the tip of the iceberg. We're only going to get better from here. So, probably this video tutorial is going to be outdated in a couple of weeks because of how like AI goes as fast as it does. Yeah, definitely have a look at this and see how it's going to go.